Okay, welcome to the October 4th migration webinar. My name's Adam Mixter. I work in developer support. Just going to have the team kind of introduce themselves. So that's me.
Hey, I'm Dan Gritters. I'm part of our rapid response team.
Hi, I'm Yiheng. I am the senior QA analyst located in KL office.
Hi, I'm Brian. I'm a QA analyst based in the KL office.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started with the developer guide changes. If you do have any questions, if you want to type them into the chat, or feel free to interrupt as we go through this, we'll go ahead and get started here. So I did put this note in here about the migration changes that were actually put in last week in case you missed the meeting and you didn't get a chance to watch the recording and that sort of thing. The short version, this is basically just referring to the fact that we changed the way that DSPI data's to JSON function works. Now there's another class that will handle that for you. There's various Lightworks methods that were removed. So we did that. And we reorganized some parts of the migration guide. We expanded props scheme information to give more detail on like changes that were made. And we also integrated a different web page originally that was about prop factory and factories changes that were made, and we pushed those back into the main article. Next, we have some methods that were previously marked as removed or have actually been deprecated now in the following areas: data sim interface, measure param type, data catalog, and data symbol. If you have any concerns about that, I would definitely recommend looking through the guide and seeing which of those were set to deprecated instead of being removed. I don't really see that negatively impacting anyone. But if there was some change that you made maybe last week or something that you were worried about making, you might be able to go back. And if there aren't any questions, I'll go ahead and toss this over to our QA team.
Okay, all right. So as for the QA testing guide this week, we don't have any updates for the guide this week. So there's no new changes or additions that we're going to explain. However, for the material last week, we have already updated in our QA testing guide article in the Help Center. So you can check out the Help Center for the latest articles additions if you missed the last week's session.
Cool. I'm going to throw it over to the rapid response team as soon as I push this button.
Thank you. So a couple of issues that we had come in. Some of our QAs had reported that the startup time was looking a little bit slower in 12.5. I should mention we haven't actively looked into these yet, so we don't know, I guess, the severity of how bad other than the one report. But anyways, we have a report of the position tool not working correctly. The opacity levels of glass when you change it is turning the glass black. And we've also had some reports of our drawing size increase. We ended up sending that to one of our teams. So we had a theory as to what's going on there, but just a heads up that we are looking into drawing sizes. Next, please. So we have one resolved issue related to a paper space crash. It was modifying, deleting a paper, and then swapping between views, and then coming back and modifying stuff. Nothing too crazy on that one. Next, please. So issues in progress, we're looking into a problem with logging out that happens when you're updating. And also, we are having issues with our first aid, that it's not actually updating users with the code. So if you send out a first aid and it's not fixing the issue, there's a pretty good chance that the users aren't getting the update, and it's not that you sent out bad code. So just a heads up on that too, but we're looking into that. And that's it from our team.
Cool. Thanks, Dan. This is a good time to ask if you have any questions as a developer about things that you're working on or any feedback for issues that you're having. Next, just if you have any QA related questions, this is a good time to ask.
Yep, if you have started your regression test on CT 12.5 and you refer to the QA testing guide and you have any questions that you want to ask regarding those, yeah, do ask now if you have any. Okay, seems like there's no questions.
All right. So the last slide I have is just about upcoming dates that are important. The third migration workshop is next week, Monday, on the 11th. The fourth and last workshop will be the week following that on the 18th. November 1st is the release sign off. In case you don't know what that is, that's more for a project owner or product owner to sign off on the fact that an extension has been tested and is working as expected in 12.5. November 15th is the 12.5 release day. And then on November 29th is the 12.5 release window ending. So that basically just means if you tried to, if you haven't updated your extension yet and we don't have a date for you, we'll probably start turning your extensions off at that time. So get everything migrated before that day. Got a chat here. Yeah, and if you do have any questions, you can always send that over to QA support in the, if you are in the world of QA, and we can also send questions. I'll type this out as well. To dev support at configura.com. So, yeah, I guess I'll give everybody another 30 seconds in case somebody thought of a question they wanted to ask, and then we'll wrap this up. All righty. Well, thanks everybody for coming, and happy migrating.